What up, motherfuckers on the fucking chat, whatever. But this is gonna be a very complicated review. That's all I'm gonna say.
Complicated
Yeah,
in terms of. I'm
just
more
in
excited
terms.
for the Godfather review. I'm more excited for that, for the epic Godfather trilogy review we're doing.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to make this review too long tonight.
I mean, the less stupid questions we take, the better.
Yeah, honestly, I might just start this after like maybe 7 to 8 minutes, like probably at midnight and shit. To be real with you, because I do gotta get up for work too. So
And this is a long ass album.
yes, although that's why I did
And it
not want to do
shouldn't
a
be.
double review.
It shouldn't be for whatever reason. It's long and it shouldn't be.
That's why, like, I didn't want to do a double review of the albums
Right.
because we'll be here like fucking all night.
Yeah. Kaya was good.
Oh, what's up, Kaya? Hey, Kaya, text me when you have a chance. Who else is in the chat? Because I'm doing some shit on YouTube.
Sam, what up? The Tupac stand is up in here. Ronnie was good.
Oh, Tupac. I wonder who that is.
That's your new name from now on. Tupac stand.
I did not know they were in a lot of beefs with rappers and shit. I'm just like, y'all, these niggas really hated third base.
Why? Because they were white?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I mean, they got to get over that, man. There's some dope ass Caucasian artists.
Goes the weasel, goes the weasel, goes pop,
You know what I mean?
pop, pop goes the weasel, the
That song
weasel.
was good.
But you're gonna hear me doing my best Pete Nice fucking impersonation and shit, yo.
Oh man.
Honestly, Block is more for Buster stand if you ask me, but I'm gonna keep my mouth
Uh,
shut.
Brandon is becoming like that also. I don't know why. You know, you can't
Shit,
let Tupac go. He's been dead for 20 something years.
shit.
You know,
niggas, niggas don't talk about Marvin Gaye like this and shit.
right? I understand white people's infatuation with Elvis. It's become like that. The way we talk about Tupac on here.
Yo, this week is gonna be very good for reviews too, honestly.
Thank God.
Huh?
I said thank God.
Yeah. We got hip hop, we got jazz, we got R&B.
A whole hodgepodge of greatness coming up.
Well, one of those albums ain't great. That's all I'm gonna say. And that Cough Cough is the Blackstreet one.
Both of those albums ain't great.
Yeah, man. But I'm just glad we're talking about them.
About
You
Blackstreet,
said what?
about Blackstreet.
Yeah, because this always been a group I've always wanted to talk about, and I'm kind
Uh,
of bummed out. I don't have like literally none of the albums and shit. So
just get the first two. That's
yeah,
all.
that's really what I'm gonna do anyway.
That's it. I don't even know if I would suggest getting this the last two if they were like a dollar because they really not worth it.
Honestly, if I even just get the first one, I'll be satisfied.
Oh yeah. What I think that's still available
Yeah, it is. Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna send you a CD probably tomorrow.
though. Okay. When's is the other one still coming in October or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite album by Prince Paul. That's a good question.
Honestly, Prince Among Thieves.
As far as like his own stuff or like the stuff he done for artists. I mean, for me, it's anything from De La that he did. Before High and Rising. Uh,
Yes.
the second one, De La Soul is Dead. Love those albums. Even Balloon Mind State he worked on, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't give a fuck. He's the fourth member of De La to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, the Gravediggers' first album, phenomenal production by him and RZA. Even Souls of Mischief dropped an album called Montezuma's Revenge, underrated album.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Mike was good, bro. Epic movie review tonight, right after this. I can't wait.
Yes.
Godfather trilogy.
Wait, we're just doing the first one tonight, or
We're
we're
doing the
doing
first
it?
one tonight. Yes, I believe
Okay.
so. And then
Okay.
I think part two is next week, and then week after part three.
I was trying to watch part one at work, but niggas kept interrupting me. I'm just like, ugh. But I know the movie from heart and shit too. So
Yeah,
now Godfather 3, I have to rewatch. Honestly,
right. Yeah, it's been years since I watched that one.
I'm not looking forward to it. But you know what? I'm gonna put my big boy pants on and shit. So
You might feel different about it now. Who knows?
I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Okay, I might start this in about 4 minutes and shit. I just gotta plug my laptop up.
Sam said he loved Godfather 3.
You said what?
I said Sam said he loved Godfather 3, so there's people that love it.
Yeah, it has its fans. It has its fans, but to me, all I want to say right now, they went international. And you know when a sequel goes international, it gets too plot driven and shit. Like Bad Boys 2 went
Recut is
international.
better. The recut of Godfather 3?
Yeah, that's what a
The
lot of
recut.
people said
I
that
don't think I
too.
saw the recut. I seen the original one.
'Cause if I'm not mistaken, the third Godfather got like has a lot of censored scenes or some shit, but I could be wrong on that.
About what? What did they do?
I don't know. See, I gotta rewatch and reread like the movie and stuff like that too. Cause it was at one point where AMC was only playing Godfather 3. I'm just like, why? Let me go deep, deep, deep. Let me go deep, deep, deep. Antoine said, I love Cactus album, but Derelict of Dialect kind of beat this album and it's sad. Third base broke up after this album. I, mm,
I love this album. The skits. The skits to me is just not needed.
yeah,
A lot of dumb skits are dead. It just
yeah, I can generally agree. The skits was to me the skits wasn't as entertaining as Cactus album. I'm gonna be real,
right,
but Cactus album and this album, I feel like they were trying to do what De La did because I know that Prince Paul had more of a hand on this album as well too.
right.
And this is another reason why De La Soul should get more looked upon and stuff like that too, and stuff like that too. You know,
The quirky skits don't work for everybody though.
they don't. Okay, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
So,
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our hip hop review. It's your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
what up?
And today's review, we're going to talk about Third Base's second and last studio album, Derelicts of Dialect. This album came out June 14th, 1991 on Def Jam Records under Columbia.
And you
It
have
produced,
the old the reissue
what is the reissue?
with the white lettering. The OG copies with the orange lettering.
Oh yeah, yep, you're
Yeah,
right.
I had a cassette back in the day with the orange lettering and all that.
Gotcha. Yeah, they only had two albums, Q. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, man. So this album had a couple producers. You know, it had Third Base, Prince Paul, Sam Seaver. I'm gonna get into him in a minute. John Gamble, GB to Johnny, Dante Ross, and KMD, which that was a late great MF Doom's group and stuff like that too. So
Some rock.
yes, rest in peace. So pretty much they had the same production, but the Bomb Squad wasn't here, unfortunately. But that's still good. This album only came out with two singles, which was "Pop Goes the Weasel" and "Portrait of the Artist as a Hood."
Don't
They
they?
had
They have a video for Problem Child also.
oh, they did. Okay,
Yeah.
got you, got you. So "Problem Child," I guess, was another single. And featured guests include KMD, Nice and Smooth, and Chubb Rock. Alrighty. So after the release of the Cactus album, what I'm saying, they pretty much got like a lot of love from the hip hop crowd and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about like Third Base was that even though that they were like the quote unquote like white rappers, they really wanted to keep it strictly hip hop and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? And also around this time like too, they were they had to like decline a couple of deals too. Like they were almost on an episode of Beverly Hills 90210. They didn't
Really?
want to hear and stuff like that too. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they turned down an endorsement deal for Sprite and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Um, and around this time, they hooked up with this guy named Sam Seaver, who he pretty much was probably one of the main producers off this album and stuff like that too. And Sam Seaver, he had a group called Downtown Science with what's motherfucker's name? Sam Seaver and Bosco Money and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? And Downtown Science, they only dropped like one album, the self-titled album, which honestly that's a very dope album and stuff like that. Very hard to come by these days. You might get it cheap. You might get it cheap online and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And also the most important thing that happened around this time was like 1990 was like basically the year when hip hop reached its commercial apex and stuff like that too. Because yeah, cats like Hammer and Vanilla Ice, most notably, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Digital Underground,
They
of
used
course.
both of them on this album.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Yep. Which yeah, which they also got into like a lot of beefs with a lot of rappers at this time too.
Right.
Like I mentioned, Hammer and Vanilla Ice. I mentioned the Hammer shot when they had a song called "The Cactus" off the Cactus album, which very dope. Was one of my favorites off the album, where they had a line where it says "The Cactus wore Hammer's mother out" and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hammer took that as was as like a diss and stuff like that because he had a feeling like they were talking about his moms and stuff like that too.
Right.
But to fully expand on that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get more into this when I do a beef episode. Stay tuned, 2023. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, Hammer pretty much was at the time beefing with Run DMC because on his first album, his first major label album, he had a song I think called "Let's Get It Started," where he said he was a better rapper than Run DMC, LL, and Dougie Fresh, and a lot of hip hop purists kind of said that this was one of the starts of the whole East Coast West Coast beat. But
No. But
let me
put
explain. Let me
Hammer with
explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Because a lot of like cats were like very jealous of Hammer and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And Run DMC, for instance, because Run DMC was like the top dogs,
Mhm.
and then Hammer came and stuff like that too. And there was also an incident where they almost fought outside the Apollo, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta look more into that. But there was an Arsenio Hall interview Run DMC did where they pretty much dissed Hammer bad and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And there was also reports, that Hammer and was challenged by MC Search for a dance off and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. there's more stories too about how allegedly MC Search has said that Hammer pretty much put a hit out on him, but you know, that's another story for a different day. They got into it with Vanilla Ice. Well, everybody was getting into it with Vanilla Ice at this time because
Now he thought he was cocky. He thought he was all of that.
right,
When he got on the Arsenio Hall show and he showed his ass, and I think that's when people was like, yo, that's when they tuned him out. That he acted.
exactly,
Hammer,
and
on the other hand, I never heard anything of any artist being jealous. I mean, I could see it because he was like the the introduction to like mainstream, like hip hop going mainstream.
right,
But we supported him. I supported him. I bought Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him, Too Legit to Quit. You know what I'm saying? I was a huge Hammer fan at that time. So like, New York was playing Hammer. So I never heard about no East Coast or West Coast thing until the whole Biggie and Pac thing. That's like
true,
years later.
true. But it is just what like a lot of purists have said and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like even West Coast cats was dissing Hammer too. Give me one sec. I gotta get something from the bathroom. Give me one second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. All right, so because hell, Ice Cube, True to the Game, that video, they had that Hammer wannabe and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hell, there was even a video recently where Pop was dissing Hammer, but that was like way before he knew who he was and shit like that too. But back to the review and stuff. Third Base also got into it. Oh well, with Vanilla Ice too. MC Search took offense when Vanilla Ice used to say "word to your mother" and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because the phrase "word to the mother" is referencing like the motherlands and all that shit too. And
Right.
Search kind of felt offense to that. They also got into it with the X Clan. Well, the X Clan, they threw a shot on the to the East Backwards album and stuff like that. They had a song, and I think they said some shit like polar bears can't swing on vines like the gorillas or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much they said that Third Base was trying to be like clones of black people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous Teachers. Poor Righteous Teachers, they did a song with King Sun
Mm.
and stuff like that called The Guards Are Taking Heads, where he called Third Base slave masters and stuff like that. So
Wow.
yeah, and Third Base, like you can really tell, like this album was a bit more angrier. This album was like a bit more angrier and stuff like that too, because like the first album definitely had its focused tone and stuff like that, but it was a bit more. It had its lighthearted moments and shit like that too. So with this album, they started talking a bit more about like social issues at the time too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They started, they just started like having like more boom bappers production and stuff too. And Sam Seaver, the dude from Downtown Science, definitely supplied a lot of those like darkish, like boom bappers kind of beats on this album and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So that's definitely what I have to say about the album. I love the album cover, by the way. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Just them all grimied up and shit like that. You know what I'm
They look
saying?
like homeless bums. The
The whole,
derelicts.
yes, like it definitely fit. It definitely fit. That like they're base man. I'm not gonna lie, they were fucking in the fish. I don't give a fuck what no one says. I still fuck with third base and shit like that. I don't give a fuck what no one says.
Right.
Um, so yeah, man. Like I mentioned, this is actually the reissue I had and stuff like that too. Um, if I didn't mention this, third base consists of members MC Search, Pete Nice, and DJ Richie Rich. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too long with this review because I know we got to do this Godfather shit. So, but unfortunately, this album my version has 23 tracks. But I'm not going to talk about all the tracks. I'm just going to stop at Green Eggs and Swine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So track number one, The Merchant of Grooves. That's pretty much like the instrumental kind of track and stuff like that. It has like a Richard Pryor sample where he's talking about white people, and then they mix it up with like a trumpet sample and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty solid intro. Pretty much set the whole tone of the album.
Yeah, I love the intro. I like the beat and Daddy Rich opening up the album off, and you just doing this thing on there. So that's a great way to start it off with your DJ. And yeah, that was a dope intro.
Definitely. Um, Before I go continue, the X Clan songs that they dissed them at was A Day of Outrage, Operation Snatchback, and In the Ways of the Scales. Those were songs just in case anybody was curious. Track number two, Derelicts of Dialect. That's like the first major song off this album. Pretty straight song. All my Black Moon fans, y'all should definitely know about that song. They use the same sample as Slave and stuff like that too. Um, Pretty straightforward songs. Love the song. Love the bass line on this joint and stuff like that too. So I fuck with it.
This is one of my favorites on here. Like, love the boom bap track. The bass line, the soulful sample with the horns in it. You got like the sound like a man that's like crooning on the chorus. And
Yes,
Pete Nice did his thing. He said, "Ill missions, but doing this ain't even simple. Stereotype the rhymer is a criminal. Subliminal. I put a noose on the necks. The sinister signs of my rhymes are sex." Love that song, man. This is a great title track. It was dope, man. I wish they had did a video for this, man. This is like always been one of my favorites on the album.
yeah. This song was pretty dope and shit like that. I love this record. Um, Next joint we got is Ace in a Hole featuring KMD. You know what I'm saying? Pretty straight track right here. Um, this was actually one of the songs where they took some shots at Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? Too. Pretty straight track. I kind of feel like KMD definitely stole the show on this record and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? It was nice hearing. Anytime it's always good to hear an early MF doing this shit too. So
Yep.
very cool track.
This was like the sequel to like Gas Face for me. Like he
Yes,
killed it on the Gas Face, and then you get this joint with the funky guitar loop, and this is like vintage third bass on here, man. This is great. Another
I
great song that should have been a single.
I definitely agree with you on that. Here we go. Track number four, French Toast. This was like a little skit which I honestly didn't really care for. I didn't write no notes for it.
This wasn't needed. What
Yeah,
was the whole point of this? You know what I'm saying? What again? We have some like skits on the album that wasn't needed. Why is this on here?
I don't even know. Track number five, Portrait of the Artist as a Hood. Now I'm gonna be quite honest with you, and I think it's a nice time to mention the remix album and stuff like that of Cactus Remix because they have that remix of Portrait of the Artist as a Hood on that one, and that's the one I kind of prefer better, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, and they actually performed that remix on In Living Color too. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a good look. But the album version was pretty cool. I mean, the beat was just kind of I could have done without that beat.
Yeah,
Just pretty much just talking about MC Search and Pete Nice going back and forth and stuff like that. Just talking about how they down for the environment, down for the hood and stuff like that. So I fuck with it.
it had like a more serious tone to
Yeah,
this, more like social commentary on this track, and the beat was okay. It was not like the best, but I dig it, and like they shouting out different hoods across America. At the end of the song, and it was cool.
definitely. All right. Next track, Pop Goes the Weasel. That's the sixth track off this album. Now, it's pretty much safe to say that this is Third Basic's signature track, if you ask me, and it's actually their most successful single.
Mhm.
But it's crazy too because I've always felt like this track was very unique. If you just look like dissect it, like first of all, this track is basically a diss record. Mind you, Cypress Hill, "Insane in the Brain." That was
Mhm.
like their most successful song, but they were going after Chubb Rock and Kid Frost. But whenever people hear Pop Goes the Weasel, it just has that little party, feel good kind of theme, especially with them sampling Peter Gabriel, that
Right.
Sledgehammer song and stuff
Sledgehammer.
like that, which
Mm,
it's interesting too because we know when people were sampling and digging in the crates, they would like to get some shit like from the 60s and 70s, especially around this time. Sledgehammer came out in 85, 86, one of them years and stuff,
yeah.
and it was still like a fairly, compared to those
Mm,
other samples, it was still like a
mm,
fairly new record
yeah.
and stuff too, which I felt like that was pretty cool. Um, and the song was just basically going after like commercial rap. You know what I'm saying? I just loved how Pete Nice started this shit. Like pop goes the winding of the wheels. Let's see the empty pocket needs a refill. And then MC Search really stepped his pan. I gotta say, MC Search stepped his pen
Yes,
game up on this record.
he did.
Honestly, like, and I not that he was bad in Cactus album because he was still dope, but there was like some tracks on that Cactus album where he was like more of a hype man and
Right.
stuff like that. Because my favorite member was always Pete Nice, honestly,
Mm,
but Search was just he was just on another. He was in rare form on this record and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, man, Pop Goes the Weasel is definitely one of the best tracks ever. You know what I'm saying? And this was I kind of compared this track to like EPMD when they did crossover for
yeah.
the Business Never Personal album, which
Mm,
ironically that was their most successful song as well too. So it
right.
just shows you how hip hop at that time, was still within us. No, it wasn't like part of the whole fucking mainstream and shit too. So
Right.
yeah, I definitely fuck with this record. Is it my favorite song on this album? Not necessarily, but it is their best known song and shit. Oh,
It's not.
and
Mm,
I forgot to mention Vanilla Ice. He did a diss track called "The Wrath," where he threw shots at third base too. So
mm,
that was when he was going through his dreadlock phase and stuff like that.
yes. I was just telling somebody that last night. Like Vanilla Ice went through different genres. He did reggae. He had the dreads. He said fuck reggae. He went into like alternative rock, and you know what I'm saying. He didn't know what he wanted to do at that time. What
Nah,
what I what's to me what's ironic is when EPMD came out with crossover, it was like a diss to like mainstream rap, and then it became a mainstream song for them. And
right.
everywhere they played it, you know what I'm saying? This was the same thing. Like I remember seeing this video on MTV all the time. They would play Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, and then they would play this right after. And this was like the diss track to Vanilla Ice, and it became like their mainstream song. And there was a time when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, I don't like this song because that's not third base.
I used to not like that song
Yeah,
either.
I didn't like it because I'm like, oh, it sound commercial, and but they played it, and it was like it grew on me later on, and I understand why they were dissing Vanilla Ice and all that, but they were focused on this song. Like when you hear Pete Nice verses and Search, you could tell that they were dissing somebody on here, and Search is saying, I guess it's the fact that you can't be autistic, intricate raps becoming so simplistic. I got a strong mind that doesn't have to be spoon fed, and I can read what doesn't have to be read. And from the moment that song started off, they were going after Vanilla Ice, and I love the Peter Gabriel's sample. I have Sledgehammer on vinyl. That's my favorite keep Peter Gabriel song ever. And I just felt like when I heard it, it was I'm like, yo, they're going against mainstream. You're going against a mainstream artist like Vanilla Ice, but this song ended up going mainstream itself because of MTV. You know what I'm saying? Because like out of any, I mean, we used to see the third base videos just on Young TV Raps, but out of rotation, they were playing this video all times a day. You know what I'm saying? So it became a mainstream record for them. That's why like a lot of people know it as well as like using the childhood, Pop Goes the Weasel sample, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, man. And also, I forgot to mention, Henry Rollins played Vanilla Ice and stuff like that in the video too and stuff, which I felt that was kind of dope.
Crazy.
But yeah, man. Track number 7, Sylvester Soliloquy. Skipping this shit.
Don't understand why it's on there.
Yeah. Track number 8, Daddy Rich in the Land of 1210. This is pretty much a Richie Rich DJ track and stuff like that. Pretty decent.
Yeah, this was good. I like the scratching my daddy Rich on here and the great mic play between Pete and Search, and they used the
Sure.
LL Cool J sample at the end for that track. Yeah, I thought it was a dope cut.
Definitely, I definitely feel you on that. Track number nine, Word to the Third. Um, this was pretty a decent track. I felt it was a bit too long for my taste, honestly, but it was pretty decent.
I like it. The beat is real jazzy. I love the horn sample on there. You say search saying, "See my gun is my tongue and it runs like a track star." Not much happening, but I got a fast car. Definitely love this record. One of my favorites on this album.
I agree. Okay. Track number 10, Herbals in Your Mouth. I was not a fan of this. Probably my least favorite
You don't
track
like
on.
this one?
Nah,
Oh man,
nah,
I
man.
don't know what the hell they're talking about, like the whole herbals thing, but this was I like it. I like it has like a Middle Eastern type of melody. You know, there's like a woman chanting in the background, and a really nice beat. Pete Nice is saying that I say the weebles wobble, but I dabble in verbal. The movies that you make and get the herbal. This ain't a Prince Paul move from the Turtles. This is just third base giving you the herbal. So I didn't know what the hell they were talking about on this song, but I just thought it sounded dope.
I felt like this was originally for De La Soul or something like that. Because
Right,
something about some of the Prince Paul beats on this album, it definitely had a strong De La feel to it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But mm. Now next is the Owls, A's, B, C's. That's a skit where they're just doing the alphabet on some other shit. I didn't really care for
That
this.
that one wasn't too bad. It was like they were saying that they were like picking a letter in the alphabet and then like saying all the words that start with that letter. But I didn't understand why was it a part of the album.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Track number 12, No Master Plan, No Master Race. Just letting y'all know from this song all the way down, you're gonna see some of my favorite tracks off this album. This one was a very dope track where they were definitely talking about like a lot of the race relations and just how the injustice that, certain races get into and stuff like that too.
Right.
Which I felt like it was pretty unique, especially coming from a right rapper like that, you know what I'm saying? I definitely felt like MC Search, he definitely had the best verses on this track, you know what I'm saying? Um, I love the line where he says, "Move, please." Flag for people fighting every day for their own sake, so children can go out to play and stay from the tyranny while blood is dripping. Be I ain't no flapjack, don't bother flipping me. I stick to this, so say this while you're grazing. The original man's a black man, said by a Caucasian. Like definitely a very dope song. One of my favorites off this album as well too.
Yeah, this was good. This was a solid track. I love the beat and that guitar loop and like Search is always great at kicking the social commentary for the hood and this was dope.
Definitely. Alright, track number 13, Come In. One of my favorite joints off this album. This was produced by Third Base and Prince Paul. I love the Rakim sample, that they
Hmm.
were used on this fucking track and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Pete Nice definitely did his thing. I always said that he was definitely influenced by like Rakim and Kane and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Especially him rocking the fucking suits and stuff like this. Walking every time like he performing and he coming in with the fucking suits and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Smoothest white motherfucker on in hip hop. I don't give a fuck what no one says, man. I don't give a fuck. Like y'all can keep y'all Post Malones and all that fucking shit. Shit. But yeah, man, P Nice, this nigga said some shit like, "Why I flipped and why I ain't with the clan? Which one you say are truth and true indeed? Y'all need a speed knot, not head syndromes, test out piano drops and shit. Definitely going in on this fucking song. Their chemistry was just on 10 with this track. I love it.
I love the chorus. Knock, 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 knock. Come in, come
Come in,
in.
come in,
Love
knock,
that.
knock. Ah,
The beat to me sounded like some early Mugs. It had like
ooh,
that real dusty monotone beat. It
yeah,
sounded like a Mugs beat. Like if you hear like the first Cypress album, it sounded like it could have been on that album. But I love it though. It's definitely like a dope ass track. I love the bass line and the guitar loop on here. You know, Pete Nice did his thing. I never understood. Like he had like a different type of rhyme flow. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of
yeah,
things I try to like. I really couldn't understand a lot of shit he was saying, but like he was like dope. He was like one of the, like you said, like the slickest white boy at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like the wears the 2-piece suits and walking with
yeah.
the cane and all that, and yeah,
Definitely, man. That nigga was on some other shit. It's a shame he retired after this album for music, man. Well, after the solo album and stuff too, man.
Right.
Shit. Um, Next joint, No Static at All. This is actually one of my favorite joints off this album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very dope record. You know, I love again the chemistry between them and stuff like that. You know, they're just talking about how it's funny how they talk about they didn't want no stack with nobody, yet they're throwing shots at every pop rapper on this fucking album and stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But John Dixon said that Muggs actually used that sample on
He
Yo Yo's
did.
second album.
He did. He did use it. That's right. That's why it sounded familiar. I'm like, yo, it sounded like a Muggs joint though. The Black Pearl
Yeah,
album was what? That was 91?
two.
92. He did
Yeah,
use it. Shout out to John Dixon, man.
yeah. What's up, John?
Yeah, this was cool. This was a cool record. I like the beat for this. This was dope.
Definitely. All right. Next skit is the I Jammy. Pretty much that's Russell Simmons playing this fucking teacher in the home economics
That
and
was
stuff.
Russ playing his teacher?
Yeah, yeah, they called it Mr. Russell. Yep.
Oh wow.
So next thing you know, the student he's playing around with the tools and he accidentally hurts his eye. You know, he puts some shit close to his eye and it spills blood and then he's talking about, oh my eye. I'm just like, why is this on this album?
They was like they was telling the kids not to throw bread at the teacher or some shit. What?
Funny. Mm. Yeah, man. Which leads into possibly my favorite track, and I say possibly because I'm either titled with this one and No Static at All.
Right.
Microphone Techniques featuring Nice and Smooth, which these niggas was like an every posse cut collaboration. It's just like goddamn, man. And you notice how in the posse cut they rarely be singing and shit, but when you hear the albums, they want to fucking do the rapping. And I'm just like, wow, okay. But
Smooth B was the one that was trying to sing.
Jesus Christ. But anyway, this was a dope. This is actually my favorite track. Well, one of my two favorite tracks off this album. You know, we had Greg Nice starting this shit out. You know what I'm saying? You know, Greg Nice always coming up with some cheesy lines and stuff like that. But you know, he was saying some weird shit like, "My Rolex watch is ran by solar. Get down, peep my mic technique. Let's freak, let's freak, let's freak to the beat. Check us get cash at the end of the week." You know what I'm saying? It was alright. Then Pete Nice came in and stuff like that too, which I kind of felt like again, no surprise, he had the best verse and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Search had it ended off and stuff too. I love the line where he says, "Would use the F word, but Ice Cube got the copyright, so I'll make it funky for you with Greg Nice and his partner Smooth B." You know, giving shout out to Ice Cube
Right.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because little trivia, I remember when Ice Cube did like 2 years ago, he did like a 30th anniversary review of America's Most Wanted.
Right.
And he originally wanted like Third Base to do some work on America's Most Wanted too,
Mm.
and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been pretty interesting hearing Third Base, Cube, and stuff like that too. That would be pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, man, very dope album, very dope song. I love it.
I think the beat was okay. I wanted like a harder beat for this posse cut. I mean, they had like a Rakim sample and the horns was nice. And to me, I think Smooth B and Search actually had the best verses. And when Smooth B says, "I praise the Lord that I'm no longer a vandal. Kiss my daughter goodnight, then I light a white candle and sit back and meditate, evaluate, appreciate." I liked his verse. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do no singing on here this time, and
Exactly.
it was a decent posse cut. I totally forgot Magic Smooth was on here. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's not the best. I mean, I still think Dwick is their best posse cut ever, but this
Oh
was a
yeah,
dope, collab with Third Base.
yeah, man. Shit. Another underrated posse that when they did Down the Line, no, not down. They did Pimpin' Ain't Easy with
Mhm.
Kane. No, I
Right.
think they did do Down the Line too. Hold up. See, I'm not. That's how much I don't even fuck with Taste of Chocolate like that.
They did a lot of posse joints though.
Right. Down the line, down the line. No. Yeah, it was Pimpin' Ain't Easy. and stuff like that too. That was another possibility they did with Kane. That was pretty straight. Um, next track we got Problem Child. It's another dope one right here. It's talking about the innocent youth getting fallen into like the bad examples and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much their version of Love Child by Dinah Ross and the Supremes and stuff. I fuck with it.
This was good. I love the rock guitars on this. It had like a more harder edge. The beat. You got Search saying, but the man ain't old enough to legally drink. And guess what, punk? Your shit still stink. And just talking about like the youth at that time in America and what they go through as kids and stuff that they come across and I thought it was like again it was like a real serious it had a real serious tone to it and I loved it.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Again, that's one thing I like about the second half. They got more darker
Yeah.
with some of the content in their music and shit too. So track number 18, Three Strikes 5,000. Pretty straight track, you know what I'm saying? I love the beat, love the horns that they would use and shit like that, I fuck with it.
Who are they dissing on there? Because they dissing somebody.
Let me look at the lyrics right quick. Probably Ice, man. Let me check. You mean
I
MC
think it's
Six?
either Hammer or Vanilla Ice they were dissing on here.
Let me see. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably one of them two and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Next time, or maybe they could have been going at why he's intelligent either. Who knows?
I mean, Search's verse, like he was dissing somebody when he's saying like drill like a sergeant, and then I dismiss you. You call and invoke to hold on while I diss you, passing like
Actually,
shotgun for the quickie.
yeah, Search was dissing Vanilla Ice because he had a lot that says because you ain't never seen this shade of vanilla.
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yes, he was. He killed that track. That shit was fire.
definitely. And these motherfuckers still hear each other to this day and shit. All right. Next track we got is Kick 'em in the Grill featuring Chubb Rock. This was another dope one right here. You know what I'm saying? Chubb Rock, one of the best or an underrated MCs in my personal opinion. Um, he was definitely down with third base at this time too. You know what I'm saying? I personally feel like he had the best verse and
Yeah,
stuff. You know what I'm saying? Again, they threw more shots. If I'm not mistaken, it was Chubb Rock this time
yeah.
that
He
threw the
dissed
shot
Vanilla.
at the ice and stuff
Yeah,
too. So yeah, man. So I'm gonna pull up the lyrics right quick, but yeah, man. This was around the time when he did the one album, which personally that was a very dope record and stuff too.
mm.
Um, yeah, he said Vanilla sold 7 million copies or some shit that was whack. He can wrap his lips around a big black cock. He needs no more press. Let me stop.
He sounded like he was freestyling that though.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
Oh man, the Chubb Rock, man, one of the best. Man, I don't give a fuck. And also, just letting y'all know, this was the prequel to the Back to the Grill Again song, which
right.
I'm not gonna hold you. I like that song, but I'm not like one of those going crazy on that track. You know what I'm saying? It's not touching Live at the Barbecue. That's all I'm saying. But I only
I,
like two verses from Live at the Barbecue, really. So
I love that. Back to the Grill. I had Red Hot Lover Tone from
yeah,
Trackmasters and Nas was on that early
yeah.
Nas and Chubb Rock. That was a fire on Posse Cut.
Hmm.
This was dope too. Like I said, like Chubb had the best verse and he took a shot of Vanilla Ice on here and this was good. Like him and Search definitely killed it.
Definitely. All right, and the last track I'm gonna talk about is Green Eggs and Swine. Um, Pretty straight track. You know what I'm saying? Pretty straight track. Just them talking. Just them talking out their ass and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Sir, Serge definitely did his thing, talking about you don't fuck with that swine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So It was all right. It was pretty straight.
It was weird. It was weird. Uh, they basically took sample like the Dr. Seuss thing
Hmm.
for this. I love the beat and the horns, but it was weird. Like, like what did they talk about all this? Green eggs and swine. What did they talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like to end the album off like that, it was like, come on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't. There's a lot of things. A lot of the skits on here and some of the songs were weird to me, but you know, it sound dope. But it's like when you get down to the meaning of it all, it's like what are they saying on here?
Wait, Sam said they were dissing X Clan. Oh shit,
On here?
that's what Sam said. Let me look at the lyrics. See, like I gotta look at some of these lyrics again. Hold up.
It sounded like they sampled um Edith from All in the Family. Was that Edith's voice on the chorus?
Bacon souffle. No gonna eat. I don't think so.
It wasn't Edith. It sounded like her
No.
voice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Search. He had a line where he threw some shots at X Clan, talking about Bob's a jerk and he worked for an ex friend, not X Clan, but wax get taxed even if it's bland. See, some of these discs I even overlooked and shit too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I kind of feel like they definitely will remain consistent. Like I thought long and hard about if I liked this album better than the Cactus album, or if I like the Cactus album better. But this is like one of those few times I can easily say I kind of like them equally the same. But I might have to give the slight. Now I feel like Cactus album had the better songs, but this album stepped their pen game up and they had the better performances. And the reason why I say what I mean by better performances is like they elevated like a lot of those lyrics and stuff, like the weird songs like Green Eggs and Swine, Herbals in Your Mouth or whatever. Like they definitely did their thing. Like I can't really call those songs complete failures and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely feel like when it comes to the production, it definitely had that early '90s NYC NYC kind of feel, which definitely like reflected back on like the New York at a time, like in the mid '80s and stuff like that too. Because there's certain songs here that definitely had like songs that could have been production that could have easily reflect on that kind of period in hip hop too. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as Search and Pete Nice, I definitely felt like with this album, they were just as equally lyrical and stuff like that too. Because, like I said before, I love Cactus album, but I definitely felt like Pete Nice was definitely the star of that album. Whereas with this album, they definitely both did their thing on this record and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Search was definitely dropping some quotables on here too. So I'm gonna definitely give this album a 4.7 mics.
4.7.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give this the slight nod because they did go to new territory with their songwriting and stuff too. I give Cactus album a 4.5. So
Can we talk about the sequencing and why they chose to put certain songs on just the cassette version and then certain songs on just the CD?
well, a lot of hip hop rappers were doing that shit just so motherfuckers can get like the one format or better than the other and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, because they have two bonus tracks. MC Disagree, it's a skit.
yeah,
That's MC Disagree and the Reanimator. That's a skit that I think that one was only on the cassette. And then Check Yourself, they have their own Check Yourself song that was just on the CD only or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they got the radio version for Pop Goes the Weasel, and they have a
which I felt
remix.
wasn't needed.
Yeah, that wasn't needed. They have the SD50 remix for Derelicts of Dialect. That's a bonus track. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I love the album. I think it's the as far as but I think the production was better on this album than the Cactus one. The skits again, and we talked about this with the Black Sheep album. The skits was not needed. I think the skits it was filler, and
Yeah,
they should have trimmed it down to at least 13 tracks with like a bonus track. You know, you want to add the remix for Derelicts of Dialect. That would have been cool. I feel like the skits wasn't needed. It made no sense. I love the production. There's some songs that I don't that still even now don't understand what the hell they talking about. Like herbals in your mouth and green eggs and swine. That could have had a feature from Q-Tip or De La Soul because it reminded me of a De La Soul record. You know what I'm saying? And they were using De La Soul's producer. He was using Prince Paul for the project anyway.
Right.
Um, I think MC Search shined a lot on a lot of these songs lyrically, and even Promise. And I wasn't a huge Pete Nice fan. But like I said, like I like a lot of shit that he said. It just didn't make sense to me. But even on certain songs, he shined as well. I think it's a great album. I just wish they would have trimmed it down to like 13 songs and got rid of all the skits. Problem Child was dope. Derelicts of Dialect. Ace in the Hole. Even Green Eggs and Swan, Herbals in Your Mouth. I love those. I just don't know what the hell they talking about on there, but you know what I'm saying. Like I think it was a great album. You know what I'm saying. It was definitely my favorite third base album growing up.
Yes.
So for me, I'm gonna give it 4.5. But if people feel like it's five mics, then I don't have no argument about that. I do feel like it's a great album. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they should have released more singles off here besides Pop Goes the Weasel and Problem Child.
True. Well, I'm just gonna wrap this up by just saying that after the release of this album, they pretty much was going through like a lot of eternal tension and business issues. Like they were beefing with one another, and that's why they broke up. They did, however, drop like one more song called Gladiator
Yeah,
from the Gladiator soundtrack.
that's one more. Yeah,
Love that record. It used the Isaac Hayes "Look of Love" sample,
right.
and I kind of preferred that one over the Easy Mo B remix, which I love the Easy Mo B remix. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm,
I feel like it definitely fit there. It kind of it just makes me wish they could have at least dropped at least two more albums. I'm not just gonna say one, at
right.
least two more albums and stuff like that too. But
But they're still beefing on social media supposedly.
they are, yeah, they're still beefing and shit like that too. I know there was a recent interview Pete Nice did where he said Search was like the biggest liar and fraud in hip hop. I was like, I don't know about that, man. We have other cats here,
Man.
like Drake and all that motherfuckers and shit. I don't know, but and then because they did get back together over the years. I know they did Woodstock '99. They were supposed to have done a tour for like the 25th anniversary for the Cactus album, but
Right.
that never materialized. And yes, I know we're going to definitely do the double review on the solo albums. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but
Yeah.
before this year is over, we are definitely going to do that shit.
Both of those albums are expensive.
I know. And it's not worth the price. I'm going to say that
Yes.
right.
Crazy expensive. Man.
And it's crazy because I have my issues with both those solo albums, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna definitely leave that right there. But
It was Eric.
but yeah, man, thank y'all so much for watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gotta get ready for this Godfather review, which I'm watching right now and stuff like that too. Just for entertainment purposes and stuff. Tuesday midnight when I get off work, like 11:45 to midnight. It's going to be the third chapter on this Black Street review. We're going to talk about the Finally album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So
That was fucked up a lot of shit over at Electro, man.
Dante Ross. Oh
Yeah,
hell yeah!
he fucked up a lot, and he fucked up my name on a live I was on one time. So fuck him. Get my name right, nigga.
Shit. I think it was Lord Jamaris that said that he was one of the main reason why Puba left Brand Nubian and shit too.
He supposedly he said on the live that Brand Nubian had issue with the label because they were saying anti-Semitic things that the
Yeah,
label wasn't happy about, and they were acting up on it. You know, there was a lot of shit that he a lot of artists that he passed up on.
definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So without further ado, I'm just going to let y'all know. Thank y'all so much for watching this. It's been pretty much fun looking through third base's discography and stuff like that too. I'm so grateful I got all their studio albums. I'm not in a rush to get the Cactus remixed album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them remix, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. It didn't need to be remixed. This thing being right.
Right.
Let's step into the AM remix. Nah, I'm good on that. But Without thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you, Try, as usual. And I will see y'all whenever Mike is ready.
All
Peace.
right. Peace.